Crack a beer. It's open bar. And hey, the U.S. just won another Olympic medal.
Strong and wild, we rise up high. Conquer fears, won't let them reside. Heartbeats pound as we take the dive. Living now feels so alive. Heart steel veins glowing bright. Fitness gone in the dead of night. Fading game, we got the sight. Crushing finance, career out of sight. Men of now, we own it true. Breaking chains, just me and you. Success stories everywhere. Living life beyond compare.
Salute. Once again, the United States Olympic basketball team. And if in case you guys don't know, basketball is my favorite sport. So once again, they have taken the gold in the Olympics. But when I was looking at that game and I was watching that game on Saturday, I started to think a little bit more about it. And I'll be completely frank with everybody. I teared up a little bit. I teared up a little bit with Steph Curry's amazing performance and his very first gold medal. I don't know if everybody remembers, but it kind of started last year, and we'll get into all of this. But there's been a lot of controversy around him and Aisha, his wife, on maybe an open marriage situation or something else kind of going on. And no matter what happens to this man, he stays resilient. He has fun. He always has a smile on his face in the court. And he is still one of the best, if not the best, three-point shooters in this game right now. So as we dive into it, I want to go ahead and bring on my good friend, Big Brother Kevin. How you doing?
I'm doing great, sir. Unable to have a bad day these days. And let me be one of many to congratulate the males and females for taking it home for the USA in basketball. One of the real sports that's mainstream, that is very relevant to the Olympics in the USA.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely fantastic. It's so interesting. Like, I always forget because I remember the first time I saw it was with Yao Ming playing for a different team. I think he played for, was it China? I don't quite remember, but
yeah, it was China.
Yeah. So that was one of the first times that I saw like a professional player, because he was in the NBA, right? I wasn't into basketball.
Yeah, he was in the NBA at the time that he went and played for China during the Olympics, because he was on a certain type of visa. He wasn't an American citizen, so he had all the right to go play. And I remember that as well. So it was kind of eye-opening too, that you see somebody making money here in the United States, but then they go play with their home country. But it also, as you get older, you realize why.
Yeah, and it was super crazy to see just how many other players. I think Jovic was playing for Serbia. Then in the final game, I forget his name. The guy who I think he just got drafted to the Spurs, or maybe it's his first year. He was playing against them in the final as well. It's just like funny seeing those players, and because you work here, but you play I don't know. Confusing to me. But regardless, what really hit home for me with this, and I know, Kevin, we had talked a little bit about this on the side, is the history of kind of what's going on between Steph and Aisha. So,
yeah,
I don't know. Do you want to start based on your basic research, kind of where you're thinking?
Yeah. Well, like we talked, I'm be the first to admit that I haven't watched 1 minute of the Olympics this year. And that has nothing to do with any boycott, any protest of the wokeness, what's going on. So don't ever think it's just because I'm a very busy guy with a career, trying to build a business, and also getting ready to go to Ireland for a week. So it has nothing to do with that. However, I am somewhat of an NBA fan, and I know who Steph Curry is. I know the clout that he holds in the NBA, and not only the clout, the reputation that he holds. I've never heard a bad thing or negative comment when it comes to Steph Curry. And I'll be honest with you, that is very unique in the NBA.
Yeah,
So,
and I have to say, like, with this whole thing, just to give you guys a background, so both him and Aisha, his wife, they have been together. Actually, they met first when he was 15 and she was 14. Now, they've been together for a long time. And it was last year that she went on the Red Table Talk. And if the Red Table Talk reminds you of anything, that's because it's Jada Pinkett Smith's show. And that is where Will Smith started crying, and the whole shebang about what was his name? August. It was just an entanglement with August. So that's where that all started. Now Aisha goes on, and when she goes on there, she essentially says, "I'm frustrated that I don't seem to get male attention anymore." And it's hard to handle the fact that Steph is out here getting all this female attention, but I'm not getting any male attention. I thought, right in and of itself, that was wild. And now, on top of that, they all the girls at the table ended up hopping on it. It's like, well, go looking for it. Go looking for it. And I'm like, what type of bullshit? Oh, we didn't even hit 10 minutes. Regardless, don't care. What type of bullshit advice is that? If you're trying to have a successful relationship, don't go trying to act like a hoe if you don't want to be a hoe, right? Like, am
no,
I crazy for thinking that way? So that kind of blew my mind, and it actually turned the internet into a spiral, which led to a future event. But Kevin, tell me, how would you feel if your woman went on live TV and said, "I wish I got more male attention"?
well, the fact that she went on Jada's Red Table panel, it's like, what do they say? The biggest threat to a good relationship is your single friends, right? Especially women, single friends. And the fact that she goes on there and she says, it makes me insecure to know, and this was less than a year ago, that I'm not getting any attention anymore, but my husband gets attention from women. However, I don't get attention from men. And it makes you want to ask, what kind of attention are you looking for? Are you looking for the thirst traps out there, the thirsty guys just to build your ego up? If you don't, if your ego is not big enough that a man like Steph Curry, that's had such an illustrious NBA career, is the father of your children, the provider for your family, still by your side after 13 years of marriage, and then however many years of courtship before that, what attention other than negative or bad attention from men are you looking for? And then to ask it from Jada Pinkett Smith, and that type of woman, everybody knows that type of dynamic she was going to give. And then the information or the advice that they were given, she was given, was on par from single, hurt, modern women. Oh, you're just not looking in the right places for it. You just need to look for it. Don't let it make you insecure. Not the type of reassurance that she probably needed, that, hey, look at the life you have. Now, you would probably still have a good life without Steph Curry, but you wouldn't have 4 beautiful children. You wouldn't have the lifestyle that you live. And you wouldn't have that if you leave him now, which is what it seems like it's leading up to.
Yeah, and it's interesting as we dove deeper into it. There were some things that happened with Steph's parents where there was some cheating that kind of went on that kind of broke apart certain things. But when you think about it, it's like, if I'm in this happy, healthy relationship, married to arguably the best 3-point shooter that we have ever had. But I will say, at least for right now, the best in the league. What more do you want? Like, I don't understand that. What more do you want? Like, I can't imagine, because I know how my girlfriend speaks about me when I'm not around. I just know it. So to imagine that I'm not around and my wife is going ahead and speaking about it as if I wish I had more guys fawning over me. That just seems weird. It's like, when is it ever going to be enough? And what do you really want? And so the entire thing blew my mind. And then on top of that, as soon as not just, the media hopped on it, but then fans hopped on it, then she went on, what was it, Girl Chat? They had
Another similar type show
yeah,
of
yeah.
data, a little bit more fancy, a little bit more mainstream, I believe. But before we get into that, you know how the media jumped on what she said on Jada's show. They spun it into, okay, so now Steph and Aisha are in an open relationship, or that's what it's leading to. And of course, Steph put the kibosh to that very fast, saying no, that is not the case. And I didn't see Aisha step up to kill those rumors as quickly as he did. However, there's a different dynamic there. If a woman comes to a man and says, I want to be in an open relationship, it means only one thing. She wants to be with other guys sexually, intimately. It has nothing to do with when a man wants to open the relationship on one end, both end. I don't agree with either, to be honest with you. But a lot of times when the man does it, it's distinctly and it's purely sexual. However, it doesn't work that way for females. However, I think we could probably move past that because they did kind of put those rumors to bed. However, it's amazing how that came up so fast when she said that on Jada's show, because everybody knows the infamous open relationship they have, which is opens on Jada's end, not Will's end. And look at what that's done to both of them in the light of society. However, but now we can go to that next show where she did something that was a complete double standard, and you can explain that.
Absolutely. And I do want to say there, I don't know if it's necessarily single women make other women single. It's that single, unhappy women make other women single. That's what I have seen in both of these shows, and we'll get into the second one just in a second here. But that's what I've seen is if you're not happy in your relationship, you don't like seeing other women happy. So how about for a second, you just take a step back and you recognize what you have. And if that's what you want, boom, awesome, fantastic. You're living the life that you were looking for. Why are we going this direction? That's what is so confusing to me, because Jada Pinkett Smith, yes, she's successful, but part of that success does come along with being with Will Smith. But she also publicly embarrassed him, forced additional embarrassment on him during the Oscars. It's just you would no reasonable guy would ever want to be with somebody like that. And yet she has a platform to give this advice that young women are going to listen to. I don't know. I got problems with that. But this second show, and that's what it was. Tia and Tamara from Sister and Sister. I don't remember which one it was. I feel like it was Tamara, but I'm also flipping a coin on that one because I have no idea. Tia and Tamara from Sister and Sister, one of them was on this show. What was it? Girl Chat. Yeah, so Girl Chat, they had a guy come out, completely ripped abs, looked fantastic. It was like the Chippendale kind of look. And he was serving them drinks. And she like went to go fake take off her wedding ring. Now, if you're in heat in the media after already showing that you're doubting this relationship because you think you could do more, and then you do something like that, you're just digging yourself a deeper hole. And so that's what I found fascinating about this entire thing is like, all right, the media is hitting down on them, and you have this opportunity to be brought onto the stage. I mean, let's be honest here. Aisha would be nothing without Steph. That's the truth. She would not have been able to do this outside of that. Um,
Yeah, she would have a
it's
life.
just facts. If you look at the history, it's just facts. And it's a beautiful marriage that they do have. But the disrespect coupled with the how media portrayed it, and then also adding on top of that, all the random people commenting on it, all the random people saying things and heckling and whatnot. I mean, hell, like Kevin, we were just talking about this. Aisha, how many followers on Instagram does she have?
I think it's over 7 million.
Oh no, but you know what? It just sucks. I don't get attention from men. Are
Yeah.
you kidding me? Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
So what type of attention are you not getting? Are you not getting the, oh, you're the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Oh, I would do anything for you. All the stuff that you would hear as an attractive woman like her that you would push off to the side. You would not ever take it serious. It would just release a little bit of dopamine, but it goes back to that proven fact that women thrive on attention. That's why women love getting those likes. That's why women love going on dating apps, because even 4s get treated like 8s from all the simps out there. And she's 35, well past her prime. And now she's starting to bring up. And then something I wanted to bring up, the whole acting like she's going to take her wedding ring off because a hot dude walked in. Imagine the backlash that would have came if Steph was on a similar show with other NBA guys or other prominent, well-known guys, and a sexy lady came walking out with drinks and lingerie, and he acted like he was going to take his wedding ring off. Imagine the negative backlash he would get from that, probably even from the crowd, to do something like that, knowing that he's got a wife that he's been married to since his rookie year in the NBA, 4 beautiful children with. If he did something like that, especially after the controversy, they'll go, imagine the backlash. And you can see the double standard because the crowd just busts out laughing, because it's all women, busts out laughing, cheers, makes light of it. And it's kind of a funny thing. But however, you got to know your audience, not to the audience that was at that show, but to the internet, to the media, to everybody that's got their eyes on you right now, after all the comments you've made about how you feel that Steph he gets more attention from you from women, and you're insecure because you don't get attention from other men. Because a lot of other men out there look up to guys like Steph Curry, even guys that are older than them, like myself. So yeah, we're not going to go behind his back on your Instagram and say, hey, nice booty chick. Hey, if you ever want to leave him, come get with me. He doesn't deserve you. We're not going to say shit like that, because that's a man of status right there.
Yeah, I think that's an absolutely fantastic point. The double standard is wild. It's so hard to wrap my head around it today, like in today's world, because it's like okay to bash on men, but not okay to bash on women. And this is not bashing on women. Let's be very clear about that.
Yeah.
But it's just so interesting to see that you can say those types of things, and it's like you have 7 million Instagram followers, but you're not getting attention from men. So what the hell is going wrong? To me, almost it sounds like there's something deeper in that relationship that she didn't want to say, but didn't know how to say it. Who knows? But regardless, this was a big deal. For those in the NBA community, this was a big deal when all this information came out, and it dragged on for a while. And if you've noticed, Steph's performance has not been as good during that time. However, this man during the championship game of the Olympics, his very first time being able to win a gold medal, he fleeced France. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, and it wasn't even just that game. He did fantastic. I mean, that dude, when they came back against Serbia, I am so upset. I had to watch the replay of the game. I actually missed the game itself. But that was phenomenal. That guy is just lightning, and when he turns it on, he turns it on. And that's really the point of this show and point of talking about this. It's not about, oh, women bad, men bad, this, that, the
No,
third. No. The purpose of this show is do not sleep through life. And that's why I use that for the thumbnail of once he hit that like final three of, oh, good night, guys. That's over. I use that on purpose because a lot of guys will sleep through life. They will let women disrespect them. They will not allow themselves to live to their full potential. They will get dragged down by outside circumstances. In this case, I saw the change with Steph when all this stuff was coming out. He didn't play as well. That's just the truth. But he stayed focused. And by staying focused on his mission, he got to the Olympics and he won his very first gold medal. And that is the message I really want to share with you guys today. Because when you look at all the nonsense, yes, everything always intertwines. But when you look at the message, when you look at the example, I guess that's a better way to put it. The example we talk about here at Men of Now, lead by example. That's what we do. And Steph Curry is a shining light of leading by example that no matter what is the crab in the bucket, so to say, trying to pull you down, you stay resilient and focused on your goal and on your mission to get there.
yeah, I definitely agree with that. And that's something that, a lot of men can learn and take from this, because you can see the other example when it came to Jada and Will. Will did allow those crabs to take him back in, and look at what it's done to him. Now, he's still a very successful guy, much respect to Will Smith. He's done some of the best movies of my generation. But we did a show with the Dragons not too long ago, and this subject kind of came up. And basically, one of the touching points that we had is you never let a woman become between you and your purpose. Because the minute you put your woman above your priorities and your purpose is the minute she is going to start losing respect for you. And Steph did not allow that to happen, because he was on a mission along with his other guys and the other Americans to win the gold. And that's what they did. And so many men, especially young men out there, will get their first serious girlfriend or their first infatuation, and they will start putting their goals, they'll start putting their dreams, they'll start putting their ambitions to the side to appease her. And what they don't realize is why 6 months later they don't have the girl anymore and they're 6 months behind on those goals, is because by doing that, you have put her on a pedestal, which gives her a reason to not respect you. And once you start doing that with modern women, young women, anything, they will lose respect for you, and everything else crumbles after that. And once you lose a woman's respect in that light, good luck getting it back.
Yeah. Oh, man. And dude, I have to say, I'm guilty of this. I'm
We all are.
100%
Yeah, we
guilty
all
of
are.
this. Yeah, but I was actually talking to my girl about it today, because back when I had moved to Virginia, and I was down there in Virginia, and we got in a place together, and I was kind of taking care of everything. That was probably the most uh, difficult jobs I ever had. Not just because it was 80 hours plus a week, and I didn't really get a day off. But also, I was directly involved with the Steve Scalise shooting. If you remember that, this was down in Alexandria.
Mhm.
But I kept putting her first, and by doing so, I was ruining myself. And literally, one of the only nights, like I'm not gonna lie, like I came home from work and I had like 3 beers, but I didn't feel comfortable driving. So I had her drive my car, and I like put my foot down on it. And what do you know? There's a DUI stop right there. And that was like one of the only times I put my foot down. Other than that, I let this girl walk all over me. And instead of just taking control of everything that was going on, I was allowing her to define what was going on. And that caused a lot of work problems. I mean, hell, if I didn't put my foot down there, that would have caused a DUI. Like, there's no getting out of that. So, all the way around, if you don't have frame in the relationship, you have nothing. So, when we talk about like game, was it money, muscles, game? And then shout out to MLD adding on frame. I still think game is like frame is kind of like the end goal to have, but when it comes to like the initial dating, it's the first three. So game, uh, money, muscles, game. I think game is most important. Frame is more important for long term relationships and making sure that everything is going to stay consistent. Because we all know women are more emotional. There's nothing wrong with that. That's part of what makes them beautiful. But women
Mhm.
are more emotional, which then can cause some of these rifts and all over the place types of things. With Steph, he chose, you know what? I am a champion. I've decided it today. I'm a champion and I'm going to be a champion. And that's what he did. And I think that that's what's so admirable about that. And I think that that really is the lesson that I kind of wanted to push forward with this story, this talk. You guys can look back. There's actually a link down below as well. If you guys do want to watch like a pretty good recap of what had gone on in that time period. But
Mhm.
he's a shining example of what it means to live as a man of now, to live today, to navigate today, and to become a winner.
Yeah, you said it best right there, Alex. You got to become it because unfortunately, young men are taught today to be the submissive ones. They're taught to put the woman first, and I think in a lot of ways, yeah, that's not wrong. However, it's gotten misinterpreted in the last couple generations that men are supposed to submit. You see that in therapy, you see that in religious therapy, you see that in religious
Yeah,
teachings.
come on, Kevin, just step up.
Yeah, step up and do the right
Wait,
thing for her.
Kevin. A real man would.
There you go. A real man would make her happy. Screw your own happiness or your own pleasure or your own peace. It's all about her. Now, that's, and when we talk about being a man of now, you have to unlearn that philosophy, but you have to unlearn it in the correct way because there's so many ways to misinterpret it and become the wrong type of person. You become a man with a chip on your shoulder. You can become a man with arrogance. You become a narcissist. And so if you don't have the right people there to guide you along of re-establishing your masculine presence and learning how to set frame by still being the man that she looks up to, respects, you love dearly, she loves you dearly, you be the leader in the relationship and be the good leader in the relationship. Being a leader in the relationship is not a controller in the relationship. It's not a dictator in the relationship. And that's where it's gotten so messed up over the last couple generations, because men, especially when they unplug, you can very easily misinterpret the information that is written in some of the most foundational books, The Rational Male, uh, a lot of the books that are out there right now. But if you do it and you do it on your own and you become complete opposite too fast, you'll do it the wrong way and you'll end up hurting your own self-confidence in the long run. So learning it from guys that have been there, guys that have been through it, that have learned lessons the hard way, that have learned from their lessons and have learned from other people's mistakes, that will help you get there faster.
Absolutely. Very, very well said. Well, guys, I do want to give a shout out again to Eater here. Again, yeah, Steph Curry can be the next Will Smith if he's not careful. 100% agree. And somebody get him a copy of the Rational Mail. 100% agree. He needs a starting guide here because I don't think he's quite there yet.
Yeah.
But they do seem to have a very good relationship. A lot of this is speculation. We can look at it from a bunch of different angles. I just want to look at it like, okay, in the worst case scenario, what did this man do? And this man climbed a mountain. He
Yeah.
climbed a mountain and he got to be essentially the MVP of the United States basketball team. He became the MVP essentially of all of basketball in this year in 2024. Regardless of what anybody else said, that's an impressive move. So we do need to hop here. I don't have any final thoughts past that. I think we've hit it home. We will be getting back to the series on going through the history of the Manosphere and the Red Pill and all that type of stuff. Next week is going to be 21 Con. For those of you who may not know what that is, that probably will be the most interesting episode that we have ever had. I imagine that one actually may go for like 2 hours or something. And it may
There
actually
were
be
a lot of
multiple parts.
conventions before 21, but when 21 hit the scene, that was one of the game changers. You know, you've got a lot of game changers throughout the Manosphere, Ross Jeffries, Mystery, all these guys, but 21 Con put it all in one room, and you know, some of those guys are actually on watch lists right now. But you know, for no good reason. My final thought, Alex, is I just want to say I wish Steph and Aisha the best of luck. I hope nothing ever comes of this. I hope, because they're unique and they're a couple that actually made it. You know, Steph doesn't strike me as the guy that when they're on the road, he's having foursomes with other people. I mean, who knows? He may be, but I really hope they make it, because if they don't, nothing ever good comes of that, especially when you got 4 beautiful children that are along for that ride. You know, so I wish them the best. Once again, congratulations to the men and women's NBA teams for bringing home the golds, and can't wait to get back to it.
Yeah, we got 4 more years. We got LA. I'll see you out
Yeah.
there, and we're gonna have to hang out with Josh. All right, guys. Well, if you do want to join behind the paywall, best way to reach me right now is to message me on IG. I put that down below. We're just having some site difficulties, so if you wanted to hop in right now, by all means, because we're getting deeper into this. But until next time, appreciate you guys. Peace.